The next level of portable studio solutions. Hours photography is in session.
Yay, all right.
Welcome back to After Hours. Today we're going to be talking about the Profoto B1s and how they're a great studio solution for on the go. But first I want to let you know about PAC, who is the Photographers Adventure Club. They do sponsor this After Hours show and do photo walks, workshops, seminars. Check them out on there. Lots of great sessions to partake in. Let's introduce everyone. So we have Sprague.
Hi. How is everyone?
All right, Susie.
Hi.
Scott. And my name is Nick. So we have these. Luckily, B&H sent them to us. No, because Scott has brought these in. These are his. These are his personal lights that he brought in that we're going to get to play with, and we're going to drop test them and stuff like that, and make sure.
Drop test.
Just the bounce test.
Yeah. Just doing some bounce tests and other fun things. Just see how 1 foot, 2 foot. Oh no good anymore.
Sure,
it's
they'll
like
truly break,
They look like high-power rifle scopes.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us a little about these. These are the Profoto B1s. Why did you choose these over the brand new B2s that were out there?
Because it's one unit.
Just one unit.
Yeah, I like the B2s as well. These are twice as powerful, I think. The other ones I think are 250 watt seconds. These are 500 watt seconds. But it's more power, plus the battery's integrated. There's no cords, no cables.
So you're telling me the battery is built right in this. So we were talking about the Alien Bees, and that's what the B2s remind me of.
Yeah.
Is kind of the Alien Bees we were just talking about with the battery pack. So show me about this. Where's the battery hidden?
The battery's right here. That's the battery.
That's the battery. So like a big camcorder battery.
Yeah.
Lighter than the Alien Bee.
Lighter than the Vagabond.
Yeah.
And you get, it's obviously you're not going to get as much out of this than you would out of the larger
Sure.
lithium battery, but still you get quite a lot out of here. I mean,
how many shots does something like this
it's
get?
rated for about 220 full power shots
Per light.
Yeah, but the thing is that I never really shoot at full power. I'm usually at about 1/8 power or so. And so you get
kind
hundreds.
of use the same thing that you do with your
And
flash.
the thing about these is that they charge in 1 hour. So they charge up in about, it depends on what charger you have. They have a 1 hour charger and they have a 2 hour charger. So worst case scenario, it's going to take you 2 hours to charge it.
So you just have an extra one or extra two, have those on charge, pop these out, put the new ones in, put these on charge, and then you'll be good by the time. How long? So it's a 2 hour charger. How many hours do you say the battery would last?
The battery will last pretty much all day. I use these things at weddings, and I usually don't have to switch batteries until I get to the reception. So, and then by the time you get to the reception, like I said, you just throw it on a 1 hour charge, and then you're good for the rest of the night. And so, you can get spare batteries.
Yeah.
So by the time you get to the reception, you throw in your spare, and you keep going. But
how do they work for bar mitzvahs?
They work great for bar mitzvahs.
Can you use them as a weapon too? Like it makes me think of what you just said, like the Predator.
It's like
just
a little ship.
And like a little
Surface
triangle
to
thing the
air,
Predator had come out.
No,
Like they need a
kids, do not touch the cake until I'm ready.
Like, right, this would be great Predator for bar mitzvahs.
But yeah, I mean, the way you're holding it too, I use it like that too.
You need a holder. Someone needs to develop a holder for it to bolt it onto your
a
shoulder.
shoulder holder.
Yeah, for your boulder.
But I mean, just having somebody hold it up, or even I've just held it up and,
Well, B&H did give them to us in Vegas for our photo walk, and we brought them down to the really sketchy part of Vegas and walked around with them. And I was like, if we get jumped, no one's going to believe that we got these stolen. But yeah, we walked around and we didn't have light stands. They just gave us these and said, have fun. And we're like, okay, we'll figure it out, I guess. And we walked around and shot models all the way down the strip on the old strip, and it worked out. We didn't even get ticketed or asked to stop or anything.
If it's not a part for a Toyota or a Honda, they don't want it. So you're fine. Yeah, I have to admit, when I looked at this, I've seen them in the catalogs, and I expected it to be quite a bit bigger than this. And this is actually pretty small and pretty light. And when you think about trialing with this, I mean, this is really a great option.
Yeah, just leave the hair dryer out in your bag, and you can put these in. You just put it down. You're like, no hair dryer. Here we go. You just.
Well, the reason, I mean, we talked about in past episodes. We talked about speed lights out on location.
Sure.
And then we've also talked about bringing studio strobes out on location. Well, these are kind of like the combination of the two. This is like got all the functionality of a speed light with TTL, high-speed sync, all of that, but yet it has all of the power of a strobe. And, the fact that it's all one unit and it's literally, that's all it is. You just literally just turn it on and you're ready to shoot.
Well, no, you were saying that you shoot this in TTL primarily, right? Is what you're
I
finding?
use TTL a lot, but the beauty of it is that, you can shoot it in TTL, get kind of your base exposure, you switch it back into manual, and then it locks in your last exposure. So whatever was the last exposure, it locks it in manual. So it's kind of like an exposure lock for it. So it makes it really easy. You don't have to meter. You can just kind of, it gets it really close, if not dead on the first time. And then from there, you just lock that exposure in and you just keep going. And every single exposure, like after, is perfect. And so,
nice. So I do like the battery pack, carrying them around, like we were saying, like when we did that in Vegas, I was kind of exhausted because I was kind of like the light stand all night as you were. So I was kind of tired then, but I think on a
stick,
monopod, it would be a lot easier because then you could carry it when you needed to, but then have that to take the weight off after. I have bad shoulders as it is, never mind carrying this the whole night.
What's this weight though? Because it can't be more than like 5 pounds.
It's 6.5 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
without the battery, maybe 5 pounds. Yeah. So, it's not terrible. We did manage carrying it the whole time, but after a while, it was like, all right, I want to put this thing down. But if I had a monopod, carry it and then put it down, now that weight's not on you, you can have a little break from it, where we literally carried it from one end of the strip past the strip to where that dragon thing was, and then all the way back. So, it was
that dragon thing.
Whatever that.
It's pretty well balanced too.
The fiery praying mantis.
Yeah. How do you
it feels
trigger
well
this?
balanced.
The light. I mean,
It has the TTL remote. Okay, it's only for Canon and Nikon. Canon has their version, Nikon has the other version. But other than that, you can trigger it with any trigger. You can trigger it with Pocket Wizards. You can trigger it with anything. It's you can plug any radio transmitter into it. These have the air TTLs built into them. So
can you actually trigger it with another flash or anything like that?
Yeah, it's got slave mode. It's got all of that. It's a regular studio strobe. It has all the same functionality that any studio strobe would have.
So you're able to actually just pop that off, put your flash on, pop it off without even buying something additional.
Right. Yeah. And the thing that I really like about these is that they're really, really powerful. I've always been a speed light guy. I love speed lights. I've always used speed lights. Like since the beginning of my career, I've used speed lights. And I got to a point where I started, using them more and more outside, and you start ganging them together. You got 3, 4 speed lights all together. You'll never run out of power with this. With 500 watt seconds is huge power. You can do anything you want outdoors. But even more impressive is not so much how powerful it is how not powerful it is, because you can dial this thing all the way down to 2 watt seconds, which means I could be in the studio and I can shoot with my 85 1.2 lens at an aperture of 1.2, and I can power that light all the way down low enough so I can still shoot at apertures of really
without
big.
A filter
something very subtle,
right?
So that you have soft light.
So a lot of studio lights, the problem is that they're too powerful. You can't actually get them to come down low enough. You got to start using neutral density filters and all this stuff. These will actually, it's a 9-stop range. So from 500 watt seconds all the way down to 2 watt seconds, that to me is actually more impressive than just the big power. There's lots of big power strobes, but not all these big power strobes can power down,
Yeah.
So
now another thing is, when we were messing with this earlier, you were able to shoot some pictures in pretty rapid sequence. The recycle time
Oh yeah,
on
these
things
things
to be
just,
almost instantaneous.
yeah,
how many shots would you say you can get per?
I've never ran out. I mean, it's faster than my camera.
Yeah.
It's never.
So it's just ready.
Yeah, it's just ready. I mean, it never misses a beat. So.
So you brought some of the, or at least a modifier, and you had built this earlier in front of us, and it took you about 2 hours to build. I was pretty impressed with that. It was a record time.
No, these are actually really easy. They're lightweight.
It's like a little mini Octa.
Yeah, it's a mini Octa.
It's about the weight of probably a little bit heavier than an umbrella, like a big umbrella.
Yeah.
So
yeah, these are the new off-camera flash. These are specific for the B1s and the B2s. But you can put any modifier on here. I mean, it fits all the Profoto modifiers. Plus, it'll fit any other modifier. I've got my Paul Buff Octaboxes that all you need is just the Profoto speed ring, and so I've converted all my softboxes into. A lot of people run Ellencrom softboxes on these things. So I mean, you can fit. Yeah, that's sewn in. That doesn't come out.
Well, and also show them, because basically it's just a rubber collar that fits around this. There's not really a bracket.
Yeah, it's the typical. It's a typical Profoto. It's got the rubberized collar and the rubber clamp, and it fits in and.
like a glove.
Oops. I can't do it when I'm holding. There we go. So it just fits in.
It's just a pressure clamp.
Yeah, once you get it cleared around the collar, which it's snug. I mean, and it's supposed to be snug. And I'm struggling with it now, but there we go. So once you get that in, it's just a rubberized collar, and then it snaps. And it's snug. It's supposed to be snug. It fits tight. It fits very tight.
Is this supposed to be snug right here?
It's supposed to be very snug.
Yes. So no light leaks around the
But
collar.
it's kind of cool because it seals itself around that unit.
Now, also on the side of that, you've got some numbers that.
Yeah, that's for all the other modifiers. I mean, they got zoom modifiers, zoom reflectors, so.
It's pretty gadgety too. I'm noticing you have a battery
Yeah,
check
it's got
right
the battery indicator on there. I mean, honestly, it's a brilliant design. I mean, anything put out by Profoto, it's quality. It's durable. I mean, originally Profoto was designed to be like a rental house unit. These things were made for rental houses to just like rent them out to people, and people would just use these. They'd abuse them. They'd return them, and it was made to like last through that kind of stuff. I mean, you can see the stainless steel tip on this thing. That's a thick stainless steel tip around there.
You have an umbrella port here too.
These things are just made to last.
Yeah, to withstand the rigors of
right.
travel photography.
But yet they're simple, and so and that's the other thing about them is they make them so that they're like any.
A chimp could operate it.
Anybody can. I mean, there's just a few buttons, and you know how to. Use it. It's very simple to use. But
well, they don't all have backlit. I mean.
Yeah. So I mean,
nice
and all of this is
display.
Like I said, it's got the LED modeling lamp, which is really cool, and it's variable range, so you can power it up and power it down. And the thing is that if you notice, it's a tungsten LED, and so the flash itself is daylight balanced, but the modeling light is tungsten. And so that's really cool because oftentimes when I would use that, I would use it indoors, and that just saves you from having to gel it to match your tungsten. It's already tungsten,
Well,
so,
as we were talking about in our previous episode, if you use the modeling light with the battery pack type strobe, it tends to drain it almost instantaneously. So.
Yeah, this will run for about an hour and a half on a full battery. And
so, as we kind of wrap it up, are we talking about price range? What are we talking about with these compared to other solutions?
Well, yeah, there's other modifier. These are grids too. Price range, I mean, anything with Profoto is just expensive. Just know that. I mean, if you're going to get into the world of Profoto and get into that higher end, you buy these things, you buy them for long term. I mean, these things, most people who buy Profotos, I mean, you go over to like Paul Marco's studio, he's got Profotos from like 20 years ago. Yeah. I mean, like he's still, like you buy them and you never
it's an
get
investment.
Rid of them. Yeah, you never get rid of them.
You don't really need to change them, especially in a studio environment. This is for more on the road like we're talking about, but for a studio environment, they work. Just don't need to change them. Light is light.
So there's the grid. It comes in, 10, 20, and 30 grids, and you just pop on.
Well, no. Can you, if you're in a studio, can you still plug these in, or can you?
No, they're battery operated. They're made for location kits. They're made for being on location. Yeah, so that's their purpose. You know, they're not real. I mean, yes, you can use them in a studio, but they're really made to be out there.
Nick loves his
Yeah,
baby.
you've fallen in love with the baby now.
He's gonna want them. Yeah. So we didn't get to the base price.
Oh yeah, base
So
price.
single one. If you want
one unit's gonna run you about $2,000
for the light and
just
the
for the
battery.
head. Yeah, just for the light and the battery is $2,000.
And then they have a package with two of them too, right?
Yeah, and then the transmitter's about $400. So
Which if you have Pocket Wizards, like you said, you can use those.
yeah,
right?
but you don't get a unit like this and then not use the transmitter that goes with it. I mean, this is what makes it
useful.
Yeah, useful. So, so you're looking at $2,400 just for one unit, and then close to 4,200 or 4,300 or 4,400. I don't know how much it is
for the 2-pack.
Yeah, for the 2-pack, and it comes in a backpack, and it's really everything fits in the backpack. It's like awesome.
Cool. So check these out if you do have a larger budget than the speed lights, because again, if you start ganging speed lights up, it could get in the $2,000 range too. If you buy 2, 3, or 4 of them.
and so that's kind of the thing you got to kind of consider, is because you buy a Canon speed light, that's $500.
And you buy 2 now.
Yeah, and so by the time you start adding them up, this is about as powerful as like 8 to 10 speed lights. So I mean, if you do the math, I mean that's for the price point. It's not. For what you get, you obviously, anytime, you always get what you pay for.
Sure.
And honestly, there really isn't, I mean, today, there isn't a better location light out on the market today. They've had knockoffs. I mean, there's Photix has a knockoff version, but it doesn't have the integrated battery. There's always a trade-off.
Yeah, no serious competitors for this particular configuration.
They have some out there that do TTL, but like I said, the battery's not integrated, so now you got to drag a battery around. Or they have some that has the battery built in, but it doesn't do any of the TTL or any of that. So there's always a trade-off, and so there's really nothing like this on the market today.
Cool. So another option out there for you guys and girls looking for off-camera flash and studio lights on location. So check it out. Again, a little bit higher price points. We've kind of come from the base.
Yeah, from speed lights.
From the most portable to kind of the middle to up here. So check them out and see what you think. This is the Profoto B1. And we'll see you guys real soon. So leave your comments below if you love them, hate them, have them, want them, need them. I'm going to take these 2 home and do the drop test. So cool. We'll see you real soon out there.
Cheers.
Cheers.